Well, U.S. Muslims are now reporting vandalism to their mosques, hateful phone calls, and threats of violence after the ISIS-based attacks in Paris.
Joining us on the Kogo News Live Line this morning is Dr. Mike Smalley of the Worldreach Ministries. And Doctor, first of all, are we just a country of Islamophobes at this point?
No, not at all. I think Americans are gracious and kind, and most people are very kind to their neighbors and kind to Arabs and Muslims, and they're not keying cars and making bad phone calls and spray painting mosques. So I think it's a fringe. As you have in any culture, there's always a small element of people that'll behave badly. But as a whole, this country is still very welcoming, and at the same time, it's not Islamophobia when people really do want to kill you. So I think Americans are smart to be vigilant. At the same time, we still show respect and decency to people who haven't otherwise proved to us that they have wrong intent.
And that seems to be the thing that, out of when you see, one person busted for terrorism or flying to Syria or doing whatever, it's really, one person, 5 people. And you think of the millions of American Muslims, and they're really not doing anything wrong. They're just different in religion.
Yeah, the difficulty that all of us face in our attempts to be kind-hearted and at the same time smart. And, when you lock your door at night, it doesn't document that you hate the people on the street. It documents you love the people inside the house. So you've got a belief system of over 1 billion people around the world. And out of that billion, if only 5% want to blow your house up and kill people, that's still millions of folks. And when you see people on the street in this way, you have no idea if you're walking next to the next bomber or if you're walking next to someone who wants to live as peaceably as you do. So that's why we've got to be vigilant and smart. We have to relook at how we allow people to immigrate here. All kinds of things need to be looked at right now, and we've got to change the way we talk about it. When we have a commander-in-chief that won't even say the phrase radical Islam, that's a problem as well.
Well, why do you think that there is this fringe? Is that they are uninformed, maybe naive, or what do you think about that?
For the last 1,500 years, there's an estimated over 250 million people been murdered in the name of Islam. So that's about an average of 500 people a day if you look at it in that compartment. And the debate over Islam and its real teachings is a very needed debate. But in actuality, the Quran does teach if you don't submit to Allah, you should be killed. I mean, it actually does teach that. So the peaceful Muslims say, oh, that's not meant to be taken literal. What we would call radical Muslims say, of course it is. But it's a culture that's been festering for hundreds and hundreds of years that obviously is still very strong on the earth today. But it's based back onto a book that encourages the killing of the non-converts. So that's the real difficulty. You have many Muslims, of course, who don't take that literal. You have others who obviously do. And when you're walking down the street or riding the subway, you don't have any way of knowing which one is which.
But, Doc, that would be easy to say of Christianity as well, with a lot of smiting going on in the Old Testament. I mean, do average Muslims believe in that?
There's no scriptures in either the Old or the New Testament that called for the murder of people who refuse to believe like you do. And so I think, you have the New Testament teaching, love your neighbors yourself, and the Quran actually teaching that all who don't convert are worthy of death physically here on the earth. And so that's where you have the different belief system. And, of course, you're right. You've got the fringe Christian groups like the crazy Westboro Church people and of course, people in the name of Christianity and the crusades were murdering Muslims. But in the day in which we live now, it's not the Lutherans or the Methodists that want to blow up buildings. It's people with the radical Islam background. So that's why we have to be vigilant. At the same time, showing compassion to people who've not given us any reason to believe that they had ill intent toward us.
All right, Doctor, thank you very much, Dr. Mike Smalley of the Worldreach Ministries. And we should note that people that blow up buildings are of all religions, not just, Muslims. He was saying, look at the homegrown terrorists that we have.
There are fringe actors in every society, in every religion, and right. we have to balance that in our minds.
Exactly.
Very simply.
Kogo News Time.